Well, I try to be after you, not after you, because you are taller than me, so it was a problem for me. Well, Your Eminence, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon all of you. I would like to thank Professor Meloni for inviting us and thank the government of Italy for hosting G20 Interfaith Forum. It is my great pleasure to share with you my personal remarks and dialogue. I like to believe that dialogue is the art of understanding one another. It is the willingness to learn more from ourselves, from others, and appreciate our differences and our commonalities. It starts with respecting differences and an openness of the heart and the mind. CAICID is not only a center for dialogue, it is a safe space where ideas, beliefs, and opinions can be expressed and appreciated, whereby a process of learning and engaging with others can flourish. Among our many activities through our roles as conveners and capacity builders, we bring together and train young minds from all over the world to facilitate religious and cultural acceptance and understanding in their respective local communities. These interactions can significantly contribute to peace building by clearing misunderstanding, assumption, and negative perceptions, and strengthening the idea of common citizenship, through which a person's religious and cultural identities are understood to have no bearing on his or her fundamental dignity and rights as a human being. I attended a CAICID-supported conference for youth in Cordoba. A young girl from Saudi Arabia, now part of our CAICID Fellows program, approached me and shared her experience with CAICID as meeting other people, knowing about their ideas and opinions, as well as approaching those people and starting new conversations and looking out another window different than your window. I found this feedback very powerful, as it perfectly exemplified CAICID's mission, using dialogue to enhance individual and institutional capacity to bring together religious and cultural communities and policymakers to address our local and global challenges. Through dialogue, we learn that the wider field of effort towards sustainable human development is currently largely confined to the so-called secular policymaking arena. In addition, the views of religious leaders, believers, and faith-based organizations need to be heard, as they are now more relevant than ever before. Nearly 85% of the humanity lives life through the prism of religious traditions. This puts a premium on understanding and working with religious perspectives in our effort to address global challenges. Apart from moral and religious authority, faith-based organizations globally have significant resourcing in terms of property, land, schools, buildings, and minds. They have influence in the field of education. Thus, no truly comprehensive or sustained effort can be envisaged at the grassroots without input by religious leaders and institutions. Also, in many parts of the world, it is often the local religious leaders who moves beyond pastoral care and worship to take on duties pertaining to community well-being and priorities, be that addressing conflict, injustice, or contributing to social services. It stands to reason then that there is a natural alliance between faith leaders and institutions and policymakers in learning about opportunities for sustained human development and to collaborate in realizing these opportunities. It stands to reason that dialogue between the two is essential. What is missing then? What is missing, in KAICEED opinion, is more opportunities for these two worlds to meet together in their differences. Too often, the religious world is willing to approach policymakers, but without the technically sound and evidence-based narrative necessary for sound dialogue. Conversely, I hear from many from the world of faith that policymakers need to learn the language of religion. Both sides have much to offer each other, but before they learn to speak each other's language in a safe and welcoming environment, their tradition and moral authority of religions leaders will inevitably collide with the world of facts, figures, data, and evidence-based examples of policymaking. Dialogue is needed before these two worlds can come together to address the multiple challenges facing humanity as partners. It is my pleasure and honor to share with you that KAICEED has taken the first step toward reconciling these differences. A key roadmap of tracking global challenges are the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. Although these have been impacted by the global scourge of COVID-19, they stand as our best and most comprehensive call to arms. KAICEED commitment to multilateral efforts to support of this vital component of the UN Agenda 2030 is reflected in its program and partnerships, not least with partnerships with agencies such as the United Nations Alliance of Civilization, and I know my dear friend, Brother Moratinos is around us, UNEP, UNDP, and UPEACE, and others. Multi-stakeholders partnerships that commit knowledge and resources toward attaining the SDGs are encouraged in SDG 17. The Center contribution also to SDGs 4, 5, 11, and 16 through its positioning with and between religious actors and policymakers. Dialogue starts with the differences. Not all countries and institutions personified by the honorable representative before me are alike. When I look around this room, I see a multitude of languages, cultures, and religions. I see diversity, but also see the willingness to come together and to explore the benefit of these diversities. The G20 is bigger than the nations that compose it. The synergy between religious actors and policymakers is far overreaching than what the two groups could achieve alone. Accepting that it is our diversity that makes us stronger, it remains for me to ask the G20 nations to consider carefully the deliberation and recommendations of this forum, offered naturally in the spirit of dialogue. And finally, I would like to congratulate you, Professor Meloni. You remember we worked from Argentina to Germany, to Japan, to last year Saudi Arabia. We work as brothers and sisters. We united our work together and we did the largest forum virtually in Saudi Arabia, and we are grateful to the contribution of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. This year I congratulate you for bringing policymakers. We never done that before. I see policymakers around us, they are listening to us, so please keep this effort going on, and we would like to do more and more, hopefully in Jakarta next year. Thank you very much.